Alright, hi everyone. My name is Paul Grenning, and this here is my Lake Michigan visualization tool. For starters, you'll see we have two fully interactive views, which can be rotated, zoomed in and out, and panned around. The second thing you'll notice is we have this colorful surface, which is actually the temperature data. We can change the color scale if we don't like the current color scale to something else. And as we zoom in, you'll see these different white lines appearing, which are actually cones. The cones are showing the water velocity of the different latitude and longitude points and depths within the lake. And if we disable the temperature data, you can see them a lot easier. There's a number of things we can do with the water velocity cones, and that is, number one, we can change the size. So maybe they're too small and we can't see them well enough. We can change the radius as well, which goes along with the size. We can change the number of facets on the cones. Maybe we want them to be nice cylindrical cones if you have enough GPU power to handle this much. Or maybe you want to set the number of facets to 0 and makes it look like streamlines, since there are no facets at all. And the last thing we can do with the cones is set the number of cones per points. So we can have a much smaller ratio, so maybe there's too many cones on there or there's not enough, so we can set them to a 1-to-1 ratio. So I'm going to go ahead and set this back to 2-to-1 and reset the view. As I mentioned, we have the temperature cells, so I'm going to go ahead and disable the water velocity. And as you'll notice, as we zoom in, they start to break up a little bit, so we can increase the cell size, so we keep seeing this nice iso surface within the lake. So the further we go out, the smaller the cell size has to be, which is just one nice feature. So maybe you actually want to see through the water on top or something. Other things we can handle or change are the actual layer values. So right now we're viewing the very top layer. So you notice it says January 15th, 2006 at depth layer 1. And this tells us the maximum water velocity at this depth. So if we go ahead and change the layers, you'll notice it starts to follow the contours of the bathymetry. So now we're in here. We can't really see the surface so well, so I'm going to go ahead and increase the cell size. So these are just some of the nice little features built in. And some other things we can change are actually the current months. So maybe we want to view June, and then view a different layer. So June 15th, depth layer 6. So something like that. And you notice we are viewing two different months and layers per view here. So June 15th and January 15th. If we want to update the right layer, we can actually disable the left one and enable the right one. So now if I change something over here, you'll notice the different values changing on the right side. So maybe we want to view February. So now we're viewing February 15th instead of January 15th and June 15th over here. Some other things we can play with are the actual clipping planes. So if we go ahead and play with the east and west clipping planes, north and south, and we also have top and bottom. So if I increase this layer, go ahead and change the top and bottom. So we can view very specific amounts of data, so we only want to view certain things. I'll go ahead and increase this to their maximum so we can see everything. Oh, wrong way. And lastly, we can actually change major data sets. So right now we're viewing all of 2006. So maybe we want to view all of June 18th, which shows 8 different data sets, or 2010, which shows the 15th of every month in 2010. I'm not going to do that just because it takes, I don't know, 15 seconds or so to load the data, and it's just a repeat of what we've already seen. So those are some of the major features that come with the Lake Michigan visualization tool. And I guess the last thing I wanted to show was points of interest. So on here I put a number of cities and a number of different rivers that flow in and out of Lake Michigan, and actually the state borders. So we have the Wisconsin-Michigan, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, and Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. So I thought those were kind of neat. And one of the coolest features I thought about this program was when I first started using it. If I turn off the bathymetry here and decrease the cell size, and scroll in, you'll notice we have these holes within the data. And I didn't realize we had such large islands within Lake Michigan. So if I turn the bathymetry back on, you can see there's actually Beaver Island Airport, which is right here, and we have another island which is where the Sleeping Bear Dunes are. So that was just something interesting that I found with this tool that we had to create for class. So that's primarily my program. And just to recap everything, we can look at temperature data, water velocity data, the bathymetry, different points of interest, and different time zones. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and that's my Lake Michigan visualization tool.